Hello everyone and welcome back to Fandomology, where fandoms collide. I am Master Paul, and I'm standing at the edge of a parking lot right now because I just got out of my local Regal Cinema, and as always, this is my out-of-theater spoiler, well, I don't know, I'm probably going to go into spoilers, but just briefly, but this is my out-of-theater review, having just seen Dune Part 2. And I gotta say, just right off the bat, this is probably the best unhappy ending I have ever seen. So, again, a little bit about my background with the Dune story before we get into this. I hadn't heard about Dune at all until like a couple years ago, 2021, when I watched in a watch party with Echo Base Network the original 1984 Dune. And that was my first experience with Dune at all. I had never read the books. Then after that, of course, I saw Dune 2021 when it came out on streaming. And now Dune Part 2 is what we just saw. So, the come away from this movie, kind of in tandem with the last one, which I had seen again last night, which I liked much better the second time around, by the way, is it hit me watching this movie just how much of a horror story, and honestly kind of a tragedy, the life of Paul Atreides actually is. Someone's revving up their motorcycles over there. But anyways, the original, let's compare endings real quick. So, the same things happen in the end of Dune 1984 as what happens with this movie, where Paul Atreides does indeed fight Feyd-Rautha and win and ultimately become the Emperor. And if you watch the Spice Diaphoritic, he also takes the Emperor's daughter as his wife, while Chani becomes his concubine. Well, in this time around, unlike the 84 movie, which portrays it as a triumphant ending, this is honestly a very tragic ending for Paul and those around Paul. Because one of the things that's heavily played on in this movie is Paul's visions of the Holy War and the devastation that he brings. And on top of that, he wants to have his relationship with Chani, and yet Chani does not believe at all in the prophecy of the One. I'm not going to even try and say the actual term for it. And so, really, you see from the first half of the movie, from the beginning to about the middle point of the movie, the two this is unedited. The two grow closer. And then from the second half to the end, especially after Paul drinks the water of life, they just get further and further apart. To the point where, she's going to fight, but she's not fighting for him, she's only fighting for her people. And of course, the ones pulling the strings of all of this are the Bene Gesserit. And wow, you want to talk about some master manipulators. Like, obviously, the head Reverend Mother that was with the Emperor, we already knew that she was pulling the strings along with the Emperor, but Jessica, I did not see Jessica becoming such a manipulator like she became. Obviously, she is a Bene Gesserit herself, and Paul even calls her out on this. But still, again, comparing this to the first time I had seen the story in the 1984 movie, they portray Jessica, honestly, as an honest, at least to my point of view, an honest woman. And so to see not just her, but the unborn sister, like pulling the strings for Paul to ultimately become the Kwisatz Haderach that he ultimately becomes, when all he wanted to do was just fight for the Fremen. And that is, wow. Like, I don't know whether or not that's the intended interpretation, but it almost seems like the Bene Gesserit, and especially Jessica, are the real villains here, which again is not really the takeaway that I took away from Dune 1984. And so that's all that I'm going to say for now overall, this was a great movie. I recommend it. You do have to see Dune Part 1 before you see this one so you understand it. But it is a great movie. Just be prepared for a very unhappy and tragic ending. So that's all I'm going to say. We're going to do a stream about this. Let's see, today is Sunday the 17th. So tomorrow, Monday the 18th at 9 o'clock, we are going to do an open panel spoiler review of this movie. So anyone that wants to come in and talk about this movie with me, you are welcome to. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you are completely unknowledged on Dune, or unlearned, whichever you want to say, this is unedited. We do have a stream from a couple days ago that I did with Baron Orman Tag about just Dune as a whole. It's our beginner series stream, so you're welcome to go watch that. But in the meantime, again, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. And just remember, everyone, the Force is family. And we will see you guys later.